Says war is gradually returning to Russia and that strikes on its territory are, quote, inevitable. Now this after the Kremlin accused Ukraine of launching that drone attack in Moscow on Sunday. Russia says it intercepted 3 unmanned vehicles, but as you see in the video, at least one of them crashed into a business center. It happened days after Russia warned that it reserves the right to take tough measures in response to attacks in its territory, including this one in the southwest. And earlier I spoke with retired Australian Army Major General Mick Ryan, a former commander at the Australian Defence College, and I asked him whether these recent attacks in Russia could be a winning strategy for Ukraine. Here's what he said.
It's part of Ukraine striking back at Russia. I mean, there's a political imperative for President Zelensky to strike back after these terrible Russian strikes at Odessa, at historical, cultural and grain export sites. But also there's an information imperative that Ukraine wants to bring the war home to the Russian people and say, this isn't a special military operation restricted to Ukraine, this is a war which you are part of.
So how do you expect Russia will respond militarily to these attacks on its soil?
Well, I think we'll see Russia respond again with more drone and missile attacks, but that's pretty much par for the course for the Russians in this war. They'll continue doing that, and they'll continue making accusations that this counter-offensive that the Ukrainians are undertaking to take back their territory is preventing peace overtures from Russia.
And what impact might these Ukrainian attacks on Russia have on some Western nations that are currently sending military assistance to Ukraine?
Well, throughout the war, the Ukrainians have gradually expanded their reach in these kind of strikes. We saw them on the Engels Air Force Base, we've seen strikes on Sevastopol, and now 3 attacks on Moscow. At this point in time, I don't perceive that Western countries are nervous about this. These are very targeted strikes, they're not killing Russian civilians. But certainly some may be looking at this as a reason potentially not to give Ukraine ATACMS. If that's the case, that would be a tragedy.